I was reluctant to make a video about this because I wasn't sure what's going on, but it's becoming major news about Tulsi Gabbard, and it's a real blow to those of us who support her that she made this statement. She allegedly made this statement. It was a Politico article dated August the 8th. And she basically, let me read it here. It says, Gabbard stressed that she's in the presidential race to win and wouldn't mount a third-party spoiler campaign. I will support the eventual nominee to defeat Donald Trump. She said at an event Tuesday in New York, and I'm working hard to make sure that nominee is me. There's only one problem, which makes me suspect Gabbard did not say this. Why can't we see video footage of her saying this, Loree McBride? You know what? And another thing that makes me suspicious, the article, look at the picture of Tulsi at the top of the article. I'm actually featuring it here on this video. That is not Tulsi. That is a Tulsi Gabbard Jesuit clone. Look at those eyes. Clones have a certain look in their eyes. That's the clone, okay? You know what I think might have happened? I think Tulsi Gabbard's clone might have made a New York appearance, and it might have been the clone who said this. So you might say, if this is the case, how should the real Tulsi handle it? This is going to be like a delicate matter for her, and that's why I'm making this video. I'm going to try to make it easier for her. If she goes right out and says, that was my clone, then she's going to get written off as insane, even though clones clearly exist. And take a look at Jack Dorsey in this one picture. You know, Jack Dorsey, I really believe, did try to take the Brent Spiner clone off of the official Brent Spiner Twitter. And I believe as a result of that, Loree McBride has wrested the control of Twitter away from the real Jack Dorsey. And it's possible that Jack Dorsey himself has been, I think the real Jack Dorsey's still alive, where he is and how he's operating. He might even be living on Church of Gale with my men. But it appears that he's no longer in control of his Twitter. It appears that not only has Loree McBride caused her Brent Spiner clone to take over the real Brent's Twitter, she's just totally taken over Twitter. Yeah, that's how she operates. She's got a clone army. She can literally create a clone within a week. And what she does is she creates the baby in a laboratory. She uses accelerated growth hormones to grow that baby to adulthood probably within 24 hours. And then she can grow it to any age she wants using accelerated growth hormones. We've actually seen them do this. I'll have a link to a video underneath this video that will show you where Angelina Ballerina, who's dead, by the way, she died, but right before she died, she kidnapped Brent Spiner using her very powerful brain control and forced him to make love to a Loree McBride clone, who's also dead right now. But what's interesting is that the baby that was created as a result of that, of what they did, basically was a rape of Brent. They threatened to kill me and launch a horrible bomb if he wouldn't make love to Loree McBride. The baby that was created as a result of that rape grew. It was conceived in the womb and birthed within like 10 minutes. It was amazing. They had this technology. If they can conceive a baby and then birth it within 10 minutes, then what would stop them from, once the baby is born or created, from growing it to adulthood within 24 hours? So apparently they have this technology. This also explains why these clones have such a look of immaturity on their face. They actually look like a 2-year-old spoiled brat when you look at their eyes. And that's one of the easiest ways to spot a clone. Though I hear the Brent Spiner clone is taking acting lessons, and he's been studying the real Brent to try to behave like a mature, balanced person that the real Brent is. though. And the latest, I'm going to have a link underneath this video where Loree McBride's actually going into video, because I've exposed the fact that his nose, the Brent Spiner clone's nose, is bigger than Brent. She's actually going into video editing now, and I created a page, and I would like you to explore that, where she did some video editing to try to make the Brent Spiner clone's nose smaller, but she's having some problems. That's why there are no close-ups in this video editing of the Brent Spiner clone, and she makes the camera go out of focus. She's still perfecting her technique in video editing, but she's actually trying to slap on the real Brent's nose onto the Brent Spiner clone's nose to make him look like the real Brent. But what's interesting is that there's no close-up. They didn't get close to him because she doesn't have the technique down yet. She's having problems with it. She's trying to make my exposure of her seem like I'm crazy, but take a look at these eyes. I'm going to put some pictures of clones up. And you know what? Loree McBride knows that if Tulsi really said this, that she's going to back the Democratic nominee, that Loree knows this will cause Tulsi to lose probably 80% of her support, because the main reason she's getting support is because she's an independent-minded candidate. She's against the establishment, and that's why she's getting a lot of ex-Trump supporters. And Tulsi Gabbard supporters, here's what I'm going to tell you to do. If Loree McBride succeeds in getting it believed that Tulsi Gabbard is not going to mount a third-party campaign if she doesn't get the Democratic nomination, I would just vote for her anyways. Just vote for her anyways, because I think that's the clone. I don't think that's the real Tulsi. Vote for Tulsi anyways, even if you have to write her in. The only exception would be, let's say, if she becomes vice president and Bernie Sanders becomes the nominee. If she becomes vice president with someone like Bernie Sanders, then maybe you could go towards Bernie. Though I have some problems with Bernie, okay? He's kind of establishment. But if he's willing to make Tulsi Gabbard his vice president, I might consider Bernie. But other than that, if Tulsi Gabbard does not become Bernie Sanders' vice presidential pick, or if she doesn't get the nomination herself, folks, I think this is a Tulsi Gabbard clone. I don't think Tulsi Gabbard is against going third party. I think Loree McBride is just trying to make that possibility impossible for her by having the clone make this statement. Because Tulsi, now, what's Tulsi going to do now? It's already been printed in Politico, okay? What's she going to do? Oh, that was my clone. She can't say that. So Loree's actually shoved her into a corner. So Tulsi supporters, the way we're going to rebel and help Tulsi to win, if Tulsi gets locked out of the Dem nomination, write her in. I bet you can write her in. Vote for Tulsi, okay? Vote for her anyway. Even if she says she backs the Dem nominee, vote for Tulsi anyway. I think that's the clone. I don't think that's the real Tulsi. Tulsi, I'm going to encourage you to be creative, maybe go to God in prayer. I know you don't believe in Jesus, but he might help you anyway. Let's pray for her. Ask God to give Tulsi wisdom what to do about her clone, who's trying to cause her to get out of the race. This is a very clever move by the clone, okay? I don't think Tulsi said this thing about not willing to run third party. It's a little too early for her to make that statement. I believe that was a statement made by her clone, whose picture was obviously at the top of the article. Look how evil that clone looks. She's smiling. She thinks, I know if I say this, Tulsi's going to lose because her supporters are going to be so mad at her. I don't think Tulsi said it, folks. I think it was her clone. Vote for Tulsi anyway. Okay? Vote for her anyway.